Now, when we talk about example 3 here, it says solve the quadratic equation for 4x squared minus 20x plus 25. This is what goes on in my head when I do this problem. I just start by thinking about what a, b, and c are in this equation. When I look at this, it's telling me I got two numbers that need to multiply to 100 but add to negative 20. I could easily factor it, but let's go and use the quadratic equation to do this. I know that this is a perfect square, so I could easily factor that. But let's go and see what happens when we do this. Now, I'm going to tell you, I expect to have a solution of, if I factored this, I'm going to get, well, this is supposed to be 2x when we square root it. This is going to be 5 when we square root it. 2 times 5, 29. So this should factor 2. Square the first, square the last, multiply and double. Oh, so this should be 2x minus 5 all squared is equal to 0. So that means I should have, as my solution, x is equal to 5 over 2. Okay, let's go and see if this works. So let's use the quadratic formula. So we know what our a, b, and c's are. We're looking at that, and we start by subbing it in. So now we're going to get negative 20 squared, blah, blah, blah. And we end up with substituting, getting our solutions. We end up with this whole thing is equal to 0. So it says our discriminant, b squared minus 4ac, is equal to 0. So that means our answer for this is there's only one root or one solution or one x-intercept. Now, let's see if we can get that x-intercept. Okay, so I'm thinking if we do this, we're going to substitute directly into our basic equation for our quadratic. So now when we do that, we're going to get this. We substitute directly in. All right, so now we get x is equal to that. And I'm going to hint on something. There's a special result when we do this. So because we get the square root of 0, it's just 0, right? It means nothing. So the answer for this is we're getting x is equal to negative b over 2a, and that is a special result for us. If you think about it, look at that equation that we have here. X is 2x minus 5 squared equals 0. If we had said at the beginning our equation was y is equal to 2x minus 5 all squared, you would tell me that the vertex of this parabola is at 5/2, 0. Right? So it's actually on the x-axis if you think about it. So when we do this calculation, we end up with something like this. X is negative 20 over 8, which simplifies to, oh my goodness, I messed up there. It shouldn't be negative 5 over 4. It should be negative 5 over 2. And, sorry, it should be negative 5 over 2, or it should be positive 5 over 2, which is what we expected from the beginning of our solution set. And that's our solution. So if you think about it, this is nothing more than a parabola that's opening up, but it just touches the x-axis at its vertex. Okay? That's how you can look at that quadratic. So if you think about it, whatever this value is going to be the axis of symmetry, the AOS, for our parabola that touches the x-axis. And you know what? In essence, every parabola that we come up with, if we want to find out what our axis of symmetry is, all you have to do is calculate negative b over 2a to get your answer.